In this Building a Backpack Episode 8, I'm gonna run you through the newest sample of the Fyro bag. I'm gonna give you a behind the scenes look of kind of what we're struggling with and what we're trying to improve with the next sample, and give you a timeline of what to expect moving forward. But first, let's just do a quick overview of how we got here. Because we started this journey like a year and a half ago. We've got a lot of new people who have been following along. So I just wanna give a bit of context of how we went from here to here. So 2 years ago, I had the idea to build a 2-in-1 sling backpack combo. I announced that we were gonna make it on the channel in June of last year, and this is the concept that we created. But we quickly realized that holy freaking moly, a sling bag combination, 2-in-1, it's complex. And I was at a point in my review career that I just really grew to appreciate more minimalist bags. So we pivoted, said no more detachable 2-in-1 sling combo, and we decided to go with this version of the bag, which you can see is basically a 2-in-1 sling pack combo, but the sling doesn't detach. You still got the 2-liter sling on the outside of the bag, but they are as one. Fast forward about 8 months later, and we ended up solidifying our factory and our entire development team, and we got our first sample in the mail. This was just to try and prove the concept to see if we actually liked what we were doing, and we did. From there, our development team bagged me, who's on the ground in Vietnam. We worked on a bunch of fabric mock-ups until we finalized this one, which was like our final fabric mock-up, which solidified the shape of the bag moving forward. I was so excited about this one. Like, this is what made the bag start to feel real. Fast forward a few months later, I went to Vietnam and we finished these 2 samples, which were our first samples with actual features, right? The back padding, the shoulder straps, the right pockets, right? These were the first like real samples, but technically there was like 10 samples in between to get to here. And that's when we started really testing with the focus group, where I had 10 people wear the bags and give me epic feedback, which just gave me a whole new perspective on these bags as I got to see it through somebody else's eyes, multiple people's eyes. I took a bunch of notes, the factory did, and then we ended up where we are now with a version of the bag that, in my opinion, is completely market ready. And also real fast, if you're thinking to yourself, wow, that's so much stuff that's happening. How can I learn more and get a behind the scenes look as to all these milestones and developments? To do that, simply check the first link in the description below, where you'll sign up to our email list where like all the insider information always is. I'm doing like weekly updates, really in-depth deep dives into the decisions that we have to make and our wins and our losses. It's awesome. So if you want that deeper look, be sure to check out the first link in the description below. And let's talk about where we are now with the newest Fyro sample. The gist of the Fyro bag is it's basically a 2-in-1 work bag that's like a cheat code for ultimate productivity. I'm not gonna do an entire product demo right now. I just wanna give you some unique selling points. We've got the front hatch compartment, which is more like a 2-liter sling on the outside of your bag that helps to organize your tidbits of gear. Think your sunglasses, tissues, pen, your keys, your AirPods, and plenty more. Clamshell style opening, a world-class tech compartment that's like an iron throne for your laptop, hidden back wallet pocket, and epic ventilation and shoulder strap comfort. So while this bag is definitely market ready, it's not quite Fyro market ready. And there's a handful of things we're trying to improve from this sample to the next sample. For instance, a lack of self-standing. I really want this to be a self-standing bag, and it does pretty well right now, but it's not always perfect. You can see, kind of depends. So we're gonna try and fortify the bottom with a bit more padding and a heavier denier 840D 5 PM face-coated ballistic nylon on the base of the bag. By putting that on the base of the bag, it'll help give it a stronger foundation, which means it'll stand like a champ, we hope. It's a soft good, so it's never gonna be perfect, because we wanna keep the bag light, right? We could deck this thing out with a bunch of padding like the Nomadic bag, right? That thing always stands, but it also weighs like 4.5 pounds. We don't want that. We're at 2.5 lbs right now. I wanna keep it light and breezy, baby. Next up is the material. Check this out. Currently, we're using a Codra 330D polycarbonate nylon. It's light, it's breezy. It's insanely weather resistant. And the polycarbonate coating helps give the bag some of its structure, which helps it stand upright. But we also ordered a waxed canvas in black that we're gonna be making the next sample with as well to try and compare and contrast and see which material is more Fyro. That's kind of like the fun part in all this is like building this brand. Because whatever material we choose, we wanna stick with for the foreseeable future. That's how you build that brand, right? Think Air. When you think Air, you think 1680D Cordura ballistic nylon, because that's all they did for years. Or Peak Design materials. They stuck to those materials, which helps solidify the soul of their brand. So the external fabric that we choose has to be the right call. because we're gonna be sticking with it for a while. Some great feedback we got from the focus group too is that the expansion is great, but it's a little tough, especially around the edges, so we gotta smoothen that up. We also got a fair amount of feedback from the focus group about our top handle. Now, because of the expansion zipper right here, we can't put a beefy top handle on the top of the bag, but this guy works great. It's just a little flimsy and it's not quite wide enough. So we're gonna try and give it more space and a bit more padding. We're definitely gonna be keeping the PU-coated zipper on the laptop compartment, but we're gonna remove it on the main compartment and the hatch for the next sample to see if we actually need it there. And there's also just like a bunch of little things, because everything in product development, especially with a soft good, is a give and a take, right? So we have this panel up here above the lid. And in previous versions, it got a little rolly, right? You can see it got a little puffy here. So we said, screw it. Let's add a bit of padding to this section to help kind of make it flatten a little bit, right? So we did, but then by doing that, it sort of restricts the ability of the lid to fully open. It can still open, don't get me wrong, but that foam is definitely interfering with the lid opening a bit. You can feel it. So we've got like a handful of those things that we're just trying to sort of manage, right? Get the best of both worlds. Making sure that we have this sleek, modern, professional form and aesthetic, but while never, ever compromising functionality. But let me show you one really interesting feature that I really want your feedback on. Our stowable water bottle holder. You're like, what? There's a water bottle holder? There is. See, we wanted this bag to expand, and the expansion cuts right down the middle, which means we couldn't put a water bottle holder. But I listened to everyone's comments, and like 80% of you want an external water bottle holder. So we got creative, and we created this stowable solution. Unzip in the back, and then in real time, I'm gonna go ahead and clip it into place with the 1, 2, and 3 Woojin clips, which just allow you then to get the bottle holder nice and secure. Now, what's interesting about this water bottle holder is it's not attached to the bag, right? So you can see you've got this extra space in between bottle holder and bag, which is obviously very atypical. And the design has a lot of pros and cons. Every design choice does, right? I'm gonna start with the con, where it's like, yo, I wanna throw my water bottle in real fast, right? You wanna do that? Like, it doesn't really do that. It's not like a traditional water bottle holder, right? Because like when I'm trying to get it in there, you know, it's not gonna give you that like quick like layup access. But what's really interesting is that because it's not attached to the actual backpack itself, it gives you a lot of benefits. A, it doesn't take up any space from the main compartment. You know, sometimes you throw a big ass water bottle in there and it's like caving in the main compartment. It doesn't happen with this solution. But B, because it's like freestanding, it's like this grippage situation that holds a water bottle tighter than I've ever seen in my entire life. I have reviewed hundreds of bags, and I don't think there's any that can actually do this. Now, like, you know, you rock it hard enough and that thing will fall out. But even here, I got a 1.5 liter plastic bottle. You can see the elasticity stretches very nice, and it just provides a secure water bottle holding solution that it's cool. It's cool. And you might be thinking to yourself, Aaron, but that's elastic, and elastic will die over time. And you are absolutely freaking right that it will. But basically all backpacks have water bottle holders made with elastic. But what's different is because this whole thing is made with elastic, when you got a bottle in there, like there's no single point of stress. Like some bags have like the bottle holder that have those 2 elastic like little bands, right? And those are constantly getting tugged, and then, you know, they're loosey-goosey after like a year, right? But because of this, the actual elasticity and the expansion of it is very well distributed. We're gonna try and make it removable. So then you can have the best water bottle solution out there, which means that if in a few years this gets a little too loose, you can just buy a new one, which therefore extends the overall lifespan of the Firo bag. So yeah, it's still very early in development, but I wanna hear what you gotta say about it. Let me know any thoughts, feedbacks, or constructive criticisms, or non-constructive criticisms. Just like your thoughts about this detachable water bottle solution will be really interesting for me and definitely help me sort of organize my thoughts as we're moving forward with this possible feature. It's still possible, we're still developing. Overall, I'm absolutely ecstatic about where we are right now with the Firo bag, but we still have more work to do. The goal right now is to make a new sample, but we just put in an order for a crap ton of custom materials. Those materials will be at the factory in a few weeks, and then we'll hopefully have a new sample with the polycarbonate and the wax canvas in my hands in early to mid-January. As always, if you're interested in learning more about the Building a Backpack project, check out the first link in the description, which will get you on our newsletter, where you'll get a behind-the-scenes weekly look at what is happening, and hopefully we'll have some voting coming up really soon. But the newsletter is where all the action happens, so definitely sign up if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I want to hear anything you got to say about this bag in the comments below. Water bottle holder, materials, main compartment, you name it, I want to hear it. Let me know in the comments below. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation. This is Fyro, and we'll see you next time.